Hey guys, welcome back to day 16 of the 31 days of Halloween, and I'm actually starting to feel a little bit better today, so hopefully you won't get any coughs or sniffling or anything like that. But for day 16, I watched The Wax Mask from '97. It's another Italian horror film, one that I'd actually never heard of. The story behind it is just as interesting as the movie, actually. Dario Argento went to Lucio Fulci, two absolute gods in Italian horror, and he approached him about directing the film. And so they both kind of came up with an idea for the movie, and then Lucio Fulci, fell on poor health, and so he went to Sergio Stivoletti, who did a lot of the special effects for Argento, to direct this film. And when you're watching the film, it's very obvious that someone who does special effects filmed it, because if you've ever seen a movie that like a special effects artist has directed, it's clear because they are so good at shooting the effect well. Like if you've watched any of the Greg Nicotero directed Walking Dead episodes, or if you've seen Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead remake, it's always very clear. And this movie has a lot of very intricate and really great looking special effects, except for one at the end that I won't get into. But the plot is actually a little bit complicated. It opens with a murder of a father and there's one girl who kind of survives, and it's a little girl, and she grows up and she goes to work for this wax museum. And there's a lot of people that say the wax museum is haunted and things like that, and all the wax figures are very lifelike. You can kind of see where this is going. It kind of riffs off of the wax museum, and it kind of takes off from there. The killer is a kind of cloaked, kind of like a Jack the Ripper looking a little bit. He kind of has like that several layered cloak, and he has like a iron claw hand that looks really cool, and he can do all kinds of like crazy, rip people's hearts out of them, and there's all kinds of like crazy gore in this movie. It's really pretty good. I mean, if you like, it's very clear that Argento had a really strong hand on this film. The only thing that's really bad about this movie actually is and I've talked about this before with Italian horror films. The dubbing is very bad. It might not necessarily be the dubbing, but it's definitely the voice actors. Like, the voice that's coming out of these people's mouths does not sound anything like what you would expect them to sound like. And it's that weird thing when, like, say a kid's crying or something, and they dub in, like, this really bad. I wish they would just keep in the original sound, because, whimpering has no language. And it's just really bad when somebody when they dub it, because it's like, oh, it's just so terrible. And they do that here. But that's a minor gripe with the film, to be honest. There's a lot of kind of cool intrigue, kind of the typical Italian giallo kind of thing, There's no discernible stars, at least not to me. Maybe there are some big Italian cinema guys, but nobody that I recognize from any other horror films. Anyway, with Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, like I said, they're Italian horror gods. I used to have Fulci as my number one Italian horror director, but Argento just has such a huge library of fantastic films that it's hard to usurp that. So if I had to give it a rating, I would probably say 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 3.5. It's definitely worth watching. Again, if you love Italian horror, this is definitely a movie to look out. I had no idea even it existed because, it's not directed by Fulci, it's not directed by Argento, so for me, it just kind of slipped through the cracks. But if you're a fan of either one of those, this is definitely a movie to check out. For tomorrow, I don't know what I'm watching yet. It's another one of those kind of toss a coin in the air and decide which one you're going to watch. So you'll just have to stick around and see what that one is tomorrow. This one's coming out super late tonight just because I didn't have enough time to do it sooner. Like the video if you've got this far. Subscribe if you want to see more. I got about, what, 20 more reviews coming, more than that, 25. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.